And we are back here with another episode of the Wrasslin Roundtable, coming off of one of the most compelling endings of Monday Night Raw we've seen in a very long time. Um, and I think I can safely say Solo Sikoa delivered the shot heard round the wrestling world last Monday night. And we're here to talk about it. As always, I'm Ryan Hall, got my guy Dominique LaRue joining us as always. And that whole segment. That whole segment, if you haven't seen it, go find it because this was some of the most compelling storytelling they've had on WWE programming all year long.
Indeed. And what I just want to say, what did we say last week about this whole ordeal with the Bloodline 2.0? Did I not say I was like, we was reading all the reports, people are tired of the Bloodline, we're getting a recycled version of the Bloodline, blah 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 blah, just to turn around and have one of the moments of 2026. This is probably the what's the analogy? Maybe perhaps the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
Um, just Solo looking so defeated, so disappointed, so like weary of the decision to even have that match Monday night and to turn around and I mean it's pure cinema that what we're watching with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I told you in the pre-production when we talk about, the storyline and how it relates to other storyline we've seen in, modern TV. One of the biggest things that my brother has said at numerous occasions was the Sopranos.
Yep.
Everything about this is mafia related. Um, mob boss, crime, straight up. And I basically took that and called it the Samoans because that's
Yep.
literally what we're watching. And to be honest, where we go from here is um to keep this PG-13, it is going to be utter case of HE double hockey sticks, to be honest. Roman is not gonna take this lightly. Uh the Usos definitely ain't gonna take it lightly. It's pretty much going to turn into I can't remember the exact date, but what was it, 2020, whatever year Sami Zayn had joined the Bloodline in that episode where they just totally caused havoc the entire episode. Like when Raw came on, or I believe it was SmackDown. Yeah, SmackDown. When SmackDown came on, you literally see somebody get beat up.
Yeah.
So just imagine you got the Usos running around rapid, and then Jacob unhinged. Roman is going to unleash the ultimate version of Jacob, where
Yep.
it's all gas, no break, no pun intended. You thought him and Drew was going at it was bad on SmackDown. Just imagine what he's finna do on Raw. It's pretty much gonna be Stone Cold Steve Austin 2.0 when he was stunning everybody and just you didn't know we can have the tournament going on and during Jacob music hit and he take out both cruiserweights, luchadors or whatever. So
Yep.
I I see that happening. That's my prediction. Will it happen? Probably not. It probably be totally different. But that's what I see.
And I can certainly see that as well because during that entire segment, during that entire last 20 minutes or so of Raw this past Monday, One thing that stood out to me like a sore thumb was Jacob. Now, yeah, as you pointed out to me, and I certainly remember, Roman told Jacob to back off. But he just stood in the corner watching this whole thing go down, his arms crossed, just stood there stone faced, absolutely stone faced. And when his character is at his best, when his character is at his best, he's unhinged, he's unpredictable, and he's also going to turn on somebody. I think my point is that I feel like, yes, Solo Sikoa is the catalyst of this, but the more that I see coming out of Jacob Fatu, the more that I see that he's the like the fuel, like the fertilizer to this whole thing. Because again, when his character is on, when it's working, you never know where he's coming from. And I really feel like there's something there. There's something there that is not being acknowledged, pun intended, properly. And that's what's gonna happen with him. What could happen with him? Um, does he end up kicking somebody in the face? I mean, what is gonna end up happening with him, do you think?
We was talking about Jacob beginning of the show, and Jacob has been a very interesting piece to this puzzle. Um, to start to literally start the version of the bloodline we have right now is basically taking the same route as Jay when they started the original bloodline. But Jay wasn't coming for tribal chief status. Jay was just coming for respect. Jay was just coming for the title initially, not the title of tribal chief over the family. He was wanting the title of WWE. Like he wanted the respect and the admiration and just like, he wanted to be considered a serious singles competitor. While Jacob was looking for the cars, the money, everything that comes within being tribal chief for his family, right? And just
Right.
like Solo has said about this family, it's screwed up. So it's a big democracy. And Solo wasn't trying to fall back in line with that democracy. He's been inside the churches and seen how Roman is, and he see Roman is starting to become that person again. Whether, you know, the Usos like it or not, whether they feel like they are getting the respect they want and they're peers to Roman. The only peer to Roman in that group, respectfully, is Jay. But disrespectfully, the only peer to Roman in that group is Roman. And you brought up an interesting comparison, like with uh Tony Soprano and Roman. They both love their family. Uh, you know, you said that, Tony Soprano, cheated on his wife quite a bit. Um, Roman loves his family. He loves his wife, all this other stuff, but like the
Yeah.
tribal chief, he cheats um the glory away from his family. No one is bigger than the tribal chief. You can be close to being big as a tribal chief, but Roman is always gonna put his foot down on that. Like, yeah, you became big, but who made you who made you big? Who helped you become that big? He's always gonna put a stamp on your success because he's the tribal chief.
All right, let me kind of flip that on its head. I love where your head's at, but let me flip that on its head. Um, I can also see just to kind of keep with our mafia movie, um, comparison here. I can also see a lot of Michael Corleone in Roman Reigns, and I'm especially talking about Michael Corleone in Godfather Part Two, when he was just utterly and painfully alone after he ordered his own brother killed, like just painfully alone. Like his tragic downfall was his ego. Roman Reigns' tragic downfall is his ego. Well, it could be his tragic downfall because, like you said, they're bigger than Roman Reigns. Like even when he was giving Jimmy and Jay the 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 captain titles, put a Nulafala type bead around their neck. But Roman's is red. Theirs was brown.
Oh, there's a black. Jacobs is brown.
No, that's right. That's right. Um, Point being, it's a different color. It's a lesser vibrant color. And um, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I don't think I am because there's just too much in that segment that was just unanswered. To say nothing of the fact that Solo stuck a thumb in Roman's neck.
To comment on the ego part. Um, his ego got the best of him before though. Remember,
Many, many times. Oh, no, many, many times. Yeah.
even the biggest time where it mattered, WrestleMania, when his ego couldn't let the chair shot get, uh, escape his mind. Your whole title, your reign, the biggest reign of all time, like the second biggest reign of all time, was on the line, and you couldn't let a chair shot from Seth Rollins go that cost you literally everything. So I see we might be going back down that path again.
I hope we do. I hope we do because there's just way too much meat on those bones. There's way too
Told you.
much meat on those bones.
I told you. I told you we was finna be on the ride of our life once again.
And it's absolutely amazing to me that how much WWE creative has picked up after SummerSlam. And SummerSlam was just 3 weeks ago. But how much it has picked up after SummerSlam. And the crazy thing is that have there been any celebrities? Have there been any, you know, needless run-ins? It's been wrestling storytelling at his purest. Two men in the ring, doing, having a fight, and we're interested and we're compelled and we're drawn in by the reason why they're fighting. It's simple. It's, wrestling booking 101.
And it makes sense.
Say that again, but slower.
It makes sense. Everything from the past, from when Netflix debuted, WWE debuted on Netflix, it has came back full circle. They even showed the MFTs. Solo went off and started his own little thing and this and that, a third, and it pissed Roman off. Everything Solo has done since he has not acknowledged Roman has pissed Roman off to the point where Roman was so he couldn't even look at Solo without being pissed off. He was like, "Look,
Again,
look
his
at you."
ego,
Yeah.
his ego, his ego was just running wild.
But like it just at the flip of a dime. Like it's just like he went from, I want to create a bloodline again, but this time we're peers and we're gonna run this thing together as a family to back to tribal chief status. Degrading his family members. Well, not degrading his family members, but just his family members solo. Looking at him in disgust, like just utterly like he was looking at him like he was looking at LA Knight. Look at his watch and look at this little suit and chain and oh, you think you this
Yeah.
and that, blah blah blah. Like I was
Just just
getting
just bullying the man.
man, yes. Oh my God, we're I'm ready for Survivor Series. I ain't even think about I'm not even thinking about Money in the Bank.
We also don't forget that we've got Sunday night's main event coming up here in 2 weeks. It's looking like one hell of a show so far.
Yes. Yes. And Atlanta, yes.
Yes. I mean, yeah, no, that, and we're certainly going to have a preview on that next week. But, the mere fact that, see, this is what happens when you let wrestling minds do their jobs. Because just just to breaking news here, Triple H is still head of creative. This is still the same guy who we were running down on this podcast. This is still the same guy who was, you know, bringing Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll in for that ridiculous segment.
I'm not putting that on Triple H. I'm not. That was Nick Khan.
Well,
That was the
well,
high
touche, no, touche. But this is what
that was
happens when you get, but this is what happens when you get the suits out of the room and let the wrestling people do their jobs.
correct. Absolutely. And that's where we need to be going. Matter of fact, that's where we're going with SmackDown too. We got Randy Orton and Cody going at it as they should have been going at it for the damn title. Excuse my language, but
Yeah.
for the title, and like that's the type of energy we needed for that match.
Yes.
KO and CM Punk. That's exactly what the type of energy we need for the undisputed title. Like whoever just sat down with or even Triple H sitting down and looking at his creative team, it was like, all right, we need to scratch whatever this is, and then get back to the meat and potato of wrestling. Two dudes, one story. Let's go. KO and CM Punk had story all the way back from indie days. Obviously, we ain't got to get too much into Randy and Tony. We already know the story between that. Get back to that. So, I mean, even freaking Baron Corbin and Trick Williams got meat and potatoes.
Figure.
You throw Mello into it. Now that's starting to become something. Like that's all you got to do. We don't need the bells and whistles and flashy, pyro and stuff to like draw us into something compelling. Just give us a compelling story. That's it.
All it so all this is just playing the blues. All this is just playing the blues because I don't care if it's soul music, R&B, jazz, rock and roll, country music. It all was born from the blues. You're getting back to basics. You're getting back to what made you, compelling to begin with. You're keeping it super simple. You're keeping it super simple, and that's what makes sense out of this whole thing. You got to keep it super simple because if you're, that's all we've been talking about ever since we started this podcast. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. We're not asking for the world here. We just want this stuff to make sense. And that ain't too much to ask, is it?
Not at all. Well, um, I mean, this is cut and dry. This topic that we're going to touch base on, it's pretty simple to me. Io, I don't want to butcher his name. I'm gonna pass it to you, but a current superstar is leaving pretty soon, departing from
Yeah.
WWE.
Yeah, no. Ilya Dragunov, it's a lot of news out there that he is going to be departing from WWE. Um, I, I could kind of see it coming. I could kind of see it coming. He's been off TV for, close to a year now. Creative has never really been kind to him. Um, but there's not a lot of guys like him. There's not a lot of guys like him who are able to get over with the crowd based 100% on their in-ring ability. Like you gave a great comparison to Cesaro. Obviously, going by his real name in AEW, Claudio Castagnoli. But um, see, this was a guy who was able to get over with the fans just based off of his in-ring ability. I mean, one of the most brutal, pure wrestling matches I think either one of us have ever seen was NXT Europe between him and Walter in a like, and this was, in an empty arena. This was like you could feel those chops that they were laying out at each other. Now, to be fair, Walter Gunther cuts a great promo. But he got over based on his in-ring ability. And I think it sucks that they can never find something for somebody like him, for somebody like Ilya Dragunov.
I mean, because the thing about him in ring was like Cesaro. Um,
Yeah,
could he cut a great promo? No. Um, was he terrible on the mic? No. But they just once again, like you said, they chase not to discredit Triple H, but um, if it's not a viral moment or just anything that is like instant catch your eye, it's going to be hard to work your way into this new version of WWE. Where back in the day, if you can go in the ring, you was gonna have a long lasting career, whether you could talk on the mic or not. But now it's like being a great in ring competitor just isn't going to cut it anymore.
Just being a great performer in the ring is not going to cut it anymore. You're absolutely right. And I think it's unfortunate. One of the comparisons that I keep coming up with Dragunov is Ricky Steamboat. Just showing my age here. But Ricky Steamboat had a great character, don't get me wrong. But he was never a compelling promo. He was never like this huge personality. He got over because he was one of the best technicians of the past 50 years. And also keep in mind, he was in UF with larger than life people like Hogan, like Savage, like the Ultimate Warrior, like big, just bigger than life kind of characters. And he was never that guy.
But he was just so him if and I hate to say it because Dragunov running mate was Gunther.
Yeah,
And like if they could have just formed a way where you can get Gunther and him to meet up. I mean, that was your opportunity. When Gunther wasn't in the whole title thing, which he's not anyway, but like he's not fighting for a title. Um, like he's not doing the whole retirement tour thing. So this would have been a perfect time for them to have a rivalry right now.
really. Absolutely it would have.
But you got him fighting, and no disrespect, Mike, Matt, but you got him going against a guy that you barely feature on TV. Look like Matt Cordone and Gunther is finna have a little scruffle, basically.
Yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And I like Matt Cardona, don't get me wrong. But I really feel like they really poo-pooed the bed by not running it back with Gunther and Ilya Dragunov and just letting them go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we are going to probably see him on AEW or maybe TNA, perhaps.
Yeah.
Who knows
I mean,
at
he
this
could
point?
probably make a ton of money in Japan, honestly.
New Japan, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Matt Cardona, can we talk about that promo that his wife Chelsea Green last Friday night?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Because, I both of us were big on Chelsea Green. I mean, her character work is great. She's got a great look. She's also incredibly underrated in the ring. But that was the promo of her career, in my opinion. That segment that she had when Nick called us, when Nick called her out to relinquish that title because she got injured. Um, that promo turned her into one of the biggest baby faces on that program, hands down, full stop. Like you want, like we always love an underdog, right? We always love an underdog. That's what made Daniel Bryan so compelling. That's what made a lot of these guys so compelling. Um, I feel like Chelsea Green, outside of her character work, is kind of an underdog in the ring. solidified her as one of the biggest baby faces in the whole company. That was incredible work, in my opinion.
To me, I think on my end, I think that it was just a cherry on top of what was already there. Because how many times have you said it on the show that, like, Chelsea Green is an amazing performer? Like her mic work, her entertainment with Nick, all this, just her in the ring. I mean, like you've constantly told me about her match with Penta. So it was already there, writing on the wall. It just needed a spark, really. And Michael Hayes's comments was that spark. And from that comment, it just grew and grew and grew to the point where she became champion. And then on top of that, not only became champion, but then the injury happened, and now we like, she just got the title. It was the Finn Balor effect all over again. But thank God that, like, it's not as serious of an injury, but like
Right.
she do need time to heal, but she will get that time. I mean, we literally
Yeah.
seen superstars hold a bit, Liv Morgan, matter of fact, but we literally seen people hold belts for months on now, and like, are we gonna be mad that Chelsea has the belt? Hell no, we're not. Yes, I say hell, but like, it's fine because it's really literally no other women's superstar. Um, I mean, no offense, but like that's compelling enough to be champion right now. But Chelsea,
Especially with yeah, especially with Rhea Ripley's injury, especially with Bianca Belair, with her newborn.
congratulations,
Naomi, same difference.
congratulations.
Um, Jade Cargill, I'm kind of souring on her, but my point is that she's one of the most compelling characters on that show, in that women's division. And the mere fact that she got the opening segment of that whole show to show that was a huge piece of business for her.
And once again, I'm trying to think. Like, I've said some stuff on the show about her at one point, but like I was just critiquing what was going on currently within that realm of time she was in. But like now, this work with her, it's astonishing, and I love it. I mean, like,
Yeah,
and well deserved. I mean, like, I'm glad they're giving their just dues with Chelsea and I'm about to call him Shorty G, but Chad Gable and, like, hopefully other superstars to come. Finn, you know, same as Zayn even. You give him the title for like 9 days or whatever, at least give it to him again so we can have like Kevin and Sammy, or like just a compelling rivalry between two best friends. I mean, like you could just let them go for 20 minutes off of just saying hello and they're gonna make a masterpiece. So I could
absolutely.
see them going back at it again around Royal Rumble sometime or something. But or maybe Sammy costs Kevin the title tomorrow. I don't know. But thank God that SmackDown is turning around, because
Yeah, no,
at one point
absolutely.
it was getting to a point where I could go a Friday not watch SmackDown at all. So
It was unwatchable at times.
yeah, it was. Like you can seriously put it on mute and still be bored. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You kind of
speaking of, I'm
alluded
glad.
to
I'm
it.
glad.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
talk
I'm
to me.
sorry. I ain't mean to
Oh,
jump.
talk to me. Yeah, yeah.
I'm you mentioned Bianca Belair, and obviously, I love to wear shirts to
Yep.
incorporate. or conversation. But
No truth to the rumor that you were drinking out of a red Solo cup earlier.
Bianca's husband has recently came out with an album, his third album, as a matter of fact. And I just wanted to give his just due and say congratulations on this third album. Outside of
Absolutely.
just congratulations to him and Bianca for their son. Um, and here at Wrestling Roundtable, we definitely wish them the best, and we wish Bianca a speedy recovery back, not only from her pregnancy, but hopefully her finger is fully healed and she's ready to go, and cannot wait for her to get back in the ring so she can create more
Absolutely.
magic with uh her women superstars. So
Completely. Completely. Like I certainly feel like a healthy Bianca Belair and Stephanie Vicaire, gold.
or even a Naomi.
Well, I mean, we all know where that can go. Like I'm just hearing cash registers in my head right now.
Here and proceed with caution in my head.
And well, yeah, no, we're definitely proceeding with caution at this point. Um, one last note before we go home here. You mentioned it, but Friday night on SmackDown got a little title match between Kevin Owens and CM Punk. Do you think, well, first of all, who do you think goes over? And second of all, do you think there's any way that they take the belt off of CM Punk out of this?
If it wasn't for Sammy Lumen in the background, I'll say yes.
Okay.
But I feel like we're going to get a. Are they in Montreal
I
or
know they're in
Toronto?
Canada, but I'm not sure where.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a Montreal screw job again, updated version. But Sami Zayn is going to be the one that does it, and he's going to be a real official heel from this moment. Am I fully convinced on it? Not 100%. I would give it 60%. But then again, I mean, maybe KO do get the title. I mean, who knows? But
And
I don't see CM Punk making it to Royal Rumble as the champion in my eye because you got too many compelling people on SmackDown for him to be champion. You got Randy Orton coming back for
yep,
15. You got Kevin Owens. You got Trick. You got um obviously you got Sammy. Sammy was champion for 9 days. I mean, he wants his to get back. Obviously, you got Cody always in the wing. Um, I'm trying to think of one
they.
more.
By the way, they are in Toronto. By the way,
Okay, Toronto. Okay. So yeah. But it's so many other superstars that are fully capable of being champion and nobody bats an eye. So
I don't think there's any way that match ends clean. I don't think it should end clean, but I do think there is a, and I hate to say this, but I kind of feel like it's a little too early to put the belt on Kevin Owens quite yet. I think we need to build him up a little bit because he's been back a minute and a half. Okay, let's be real. He's been back a minute and a half. You need to kind of invest some storyline into him. He's got the goodwill from coming back from a career-threatening injury. but I kind of feel like you need to build a little bit of storyline into this. And if they run it back with him and Sami Zayn, I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's some of the best matches I've ever seen on WWE. That unsanctioned thing that he had at the Elimination Chamber 2025, I think it was. One of my favorite matches in a long time. Violent as hell, don't get me wrong, but it was one of my favorite matches in a long time.
I think you build a story off of that. I think Kevin wins and Sammy comes out and celebrates, but then turns on Kevin and leaves him on his butt.
I could see it. I could see it.
And that's how we go into Money in the Bank.
And then
And
you fade
then
to
you take
black. Yeah, I was just gonna say, and then
Sammy.
you fade to black with Sami Zayn with his foot on Kevin's chest.
Yeah. Now do you go to Money in the Bank? With the do you have Sammy win the Money in the Bank and cash it in on Kevin, or do you have someone else wins Money in the Bank and potentially cash in on Kevin or whoever they choose?
Right. Yeah. Um, I feel like Oba in the bank just has way too much juice to it.
King in the Bank.
King in the bank, King in the bank. Okay, I like that. Yeah, I like that. But
I got one to Trump that
talk to me.
Werewolf in the Bank.
Oh, that makes my fantasy booking kind of come alive a little bit. That's good.
He
That's
has
real
that Money
good.
in the Bank. Roman basically tells him when to cash it in. Jacob comes to that point where we see him turning on Roman, and he cashes in directly on Roman and becomes world champion. And that is what implodes the bloodline.
That's essentially his moment of, Michael Corleone ordering his brother killed.
That's that's where we get that snowball effect of the bloodline being destroyed
Yep.
from the inside out.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I can safely say that we're like things feel a lot more compelling, things feel a lot more interesting as we move forward out of SummerSlam because the fall has usually been a dead period for WWE, but it doesn't really feel like it's going that way this year. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
And officially, John Cena's tournament is starting in December. So I think that's the date that will always be for the John Cena Classic, December, until further notice. But
Maybe okay, well, maybe kind of coincided with the retirement match uh anniversary from a year ago.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I can buy that. I can certainly buy that. My brother, another fun episode, my friend. You ready to do it again next week?
I'm so ready to do it next week. I'm so ready for Monday to see what happens so we can talk about it. And then also if it plays out where how I think it's going to play out, I'm definitely gonna be on my high horse for sure.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Friday night comes out. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Wrestling Roundtable. As always, you can check us out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on the social media machine. All the links are going to be down below. And as always, join us again next week. For Dom, I'm Ryan. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Until we eat again, take care and so long for now.
You know,